Okay, how's it going? Good? We are going to work on writing these expressions as a single log. Now, over here I've written 3 of the rules about logarithmic expressions and being able to separate them and put them back together again. So if you don't have these written down, then pause the video and write them. First one says if I take the log base b of m times n, it'll actually separate into an addition problem. But the great thing is if I can go forwards, I can go backwards. If I have an addition problem, I can bring it back together as a multiplication problem. The second rule says if you're taking the log base b of a division problem, you can separate it into log base b of the numerator minus log base b of the denominator. And then the third one I wrote was log base b of this exponent problem, m to the k. And when you separate it, the power comes down in front and gets multiplied to log base b of m. Now, a couple things I'd like you to notice. First off, this is a base b, this is a base m. Since they are not the same base, they're not going to cancel. Got it? The only time exponential functions and logarithmic functions are inverses of each other is if the bases are the same. On this third rule, it is not the same, they don't cancel, FYI. Second thing I'd like you to notice I started with a multiplication problem and it downgraded to addition. This was a division, it downgraded to subtraction. Because on the order of operations scale, aren't multiplication and division above addition and subtraction? Multiplication and addition both build up, so that's why they end up getting paired together, shall I say. There's more to it than that. I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of a simplistic view to help you remember. And division cuts things down just like subtraction does. By the way, isn't multiplication a step below exponents? Okay, so now let's go over here. They want me to write it as a single log. They want me to put this back together again. So you're like, well, how do I start? Well, notice, what do we have going on here? You're right, I have a subtraction problem, which tells me it should go back to a division problem, right? But there's one thing going on here that's preventing me from doing that right now. Yeah, this number in front, multiplication. So you know in the order of operations scale, doesn't multiplication come before subtraction? Same thing here. You've got to take care of multiplication before you take care of subtraction. And when I look at this third rule, this number out front being multiplied to the log is really an exponent, which means I can write log base 3 of u, and this 2 should be the power, will be the power of the variable u. So I'm going to pop it back to the top, shall I say. Now I'm going to minus log base 3 of v. No more multiplication problem. All I have is a subtraction problem. Excellent. And to write it as a single log, subtraction recombines into division. But the only time it recombines is if the bases are the same. You're right, they're both the same, they're both 3's. So I'm going to have log base 3. Now remember, when you recombine, it's the numerator minus the denominator. So it's the numerator over the denominator. Cool? Excellent. Okay, I have some examples coming your way. Work on them before you find my answer key video. Catch you guys on the flip side.